Alright, second grade, so at this point you have your animal mask drawn. And so what you're going to do is you have your nice piece of clay. You're going to take your animal mask and you're going to kind of feel around the edges to make sure that your paper in your clay fits. Okay, so I kind of rubbed it against there, so it's creating a suction between my paper and my actual piece of clay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and not too hard, I'm going to draw, trying not to go through my paper, which I've done a couple times already, directly onto my clay. So I'm drawing where it's going to go directly onto my clay line, or onto my marker lines. And you guys only use pencil, but I used marker so you could actually see what I'm doing. I'll make sure that I actually draw where all of my eyes go. And so I'm going to wind up cutting out the eyes later on. I'm drawing this because I want to stick something on top of there. Drawing where my mouth goes. You can kind of feel what I have and have not gone over. Okay. Keep going until I have the whole thing done. Once I have the whole thing done, then I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take the whole paper off, and you'll be able to see what needs to get cut out. So there we go. Do my last thing, and see what's left behind. At this point, you can actually throw your template away, but you might want to keep it for just a little while longer. Oops, I forgot to outline that up there. Okay, so you never want to use a pencil or one of these pokey tools to cut out. They're just for making a guideline. You actually use one of the knife tools or one of these tools with a flat edge. So, that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to kind of cut out just like the basic shape of my animal. And I'm going to take all my extra clay, I'm going to make it into a pile so that whatever I need to use, I can get to it later on. Because we're going to be adding clay on top of this. And then I'm just going to keep cutting stuff out. Keep going. And all these little pieces will just come right off. Making sure that I go all the way when I'm cutting, I go all the way through the clay, and I'm not just cutting out part of it. So, okay. I'm going to keep going. When we come back, you'll see what to do next. Okay, so I finished cutting it out. If you want to put any more cutout details before you go, that's totally fine. Notice I didn't cut out what was on the inside. I know that I only want to cut out the eyes for my own drawing. You might want to cut out a mouth or a nose, but for me, I'm only going to cut out the eyes. Just depends on your animal. If you ever mess up when you're cutting this out, you can just add it back on. It's not that big of a deal. And then I'm actually going to lift up the whole rest of my clay piece really carefully, because sometimes your clay likes to stick. I'm going to remove the eyes now. I'm going to kind of move it to a new area. This clay likes to stick. Also, you can write your name at this point on the back. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a tiny bit of water cup, tiny little dot, and I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to put like literally tiny little amount of water on the edges of my clay. And because I just want to smooth it out. Do it over here. Do it all the way around. Okay, so you're doing it to everything, and the reason why you're smoothing out those edges is because any super hard lines like that will be likely to break later on, especially if they bump into anything. So you just want to make sure you have a smooth edge. Also, it's likely to hurt people. Okay, so that's the basics on cutting it out. Next, we're going to see how to attach things.